All right, everybody, it's finally here. I finally got my Vinegar Syndrome Black Friday stuff, and I'm excited to dive into it. So I will be showing off everything that I got, but you're here for one thing, and that's the Prophecy Trilogy. Well, 1 through 3. I guess that's a trilogy, you know what I'm saying? How did it turn out? Is it good? Is it bad? We're about to get into all that, so stick around. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Chris. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. It's good to be back. I've been out for a couple weeks, been super sick, so I'm excited to dive into this. I've had this for a few days. I just haven't had a chance to kind of get in here and film because I sounded super nasally and congested. I'm still dealing with it, a little bit of it, but I wanted to get this out before my holiday stuff just swings into full blast because I work retail and I got promoted like 2 weeks ago, so I got a bunch of stuff to do. And YouTube is, you know, obviously on that list, but my job doesn't care that I have to do YouTube, but I care, and I'm excited to dive into all this. So let's get into all of this. You're here for the Prophecy Trilogy to see how that turned out on 4K for Vinegar Syndrome, but let me show you what else I got before we get into that goodness. All right, so I picked up the Dark Tower, which is an old one, but I did not own it, and it had a slip, so I wanted to pick that one up. Then we got two new ones. One was the secret video for Black Friday, but we got Fatal Games, which I'm super excited to dive into, as I've only ever seen really crappy VHS copies of this, so I'm excited to dive into that, see what they've done with the restoration process. And then the secret one was The Black Room, which I've never seen this movie, and I am excited to kind of dive into this. If you would like to see reviews of either of these on the channel, let me know down in the comments below so I can add that to the list. But let's get into the Prophecy / the Gabriel trilogy here. Let's get into this packaging first, and then we'll get into the video and the audio, and then kind of my overall thoughts on the presentation itself. I really like this. Vinegar Syndrome does a lot of really cool, unique hard shell cases, like with Texas Chainsaw Massacre and like their Ultra line with Showgirls and Roadhouse. If you've never seen those, they pretty much open up. This one has a unique kind of diagonally pull off, which is pretty rad. So we got that. Then you've got your inner shell. All right, so let's dive in. So there's our slip, which is pretty awesome. This is a disc booklet here, so they were all intact, which is good, you know, and they are pretty sturdy in here, so that's nice to see. Vinegar Syndrome doesn't slouch on packaging at all. Say what you will, if you like or don't like them, but packaging, they always are 100% on, and if they do make a mistake, they do rectify that pretty fast, and they'll just send it out to you. You'll know, you'll just get it. They'll just fix the mistake. Anyway, let's get into this. So, packaging, 5 out of 5. This stuff is incredible. That's why they're my favorite boutique. If you've been around on the channel for a while, you know that. They are my favorite boutique out of everyone. I know some people like Arrow and all that stuff. Vinegar Syndrome, for me personally, with my taste in weird movies, like most of you know on the channel, they're where it's at. You know, I like all of their stuff, and I am always excited when they announce something to see what they've done with it and how they can make that movie look as beautiful as possible. So, how did they do here? Packaging, 5 out of 5. So we're already at a standout there. Let's get into the video and the audio. So this is a new 4K scan of the 35mm inner positive of the film, and it does have HDR, and it has a DTS HD Master 5.1 audio, which sounds very good. We'll get into that in a minute. And we've got a couple new special features, but how is the video? It is fantastic, man. I know we talked high praise a couple weeks ago for Silver Bullet because it looked really good, and that was very surprising. The Dolby Vision there was like a real standout, but there was still some missing things with that. I'll link that video up below so you can check that out if you want to see what Silver Bullet is. We also do have Dead Zone later this week, so it's going to be a Christopher Walken week here. We're walking with the Walken here. So I'm excited because I really like the Dead Zone also, and I'm excited to see that is. I do have it. I just need to kind of dive in and watch it, and so I can do the review. So maybe Wednesday, Thursday, I'll have that video out for you guys. So just hit the bell and all of that stuff so you can know when that video comes out. Video, the grain looks amazing. All of these movies look incredible because I was worried across the three, how was the film going to look? Was it going to degrade any? Is it going to be as solid from the first entry to the last entry, and I am excited and happy to say that they have done a phenomenal job with this thing. As good as Silver Bullet looked and some of the best stuff we've gotten this year, I think this is one of my favorite packages of the year because I am getting the Hellraiser thing. Finally, I've had a snafu in shipping, so I finally will get that this week at some point. I've been waiting for that forever. The Psycho stuff was pretty decent, but this for me, mixed with the movies. Now, you got to understand, I really love these movies. They're very 90s, but I also really like kind of that heaven stuff, you know, like a Constantine or Priest, which is a bad movie. I like any of that stuff because I like when they take that stuff and do weird shit with it, which is what we get with the Prophecy movies. Christopher Walken plays Gabriel. That's why this is also called the Gabriel Trilogy. And I like seeing that aspect of kind of that fallen angel type thing. And I really like his performance in these. And I really like these movies. I won't spoil anything here because I don't really want to get into the movies, but they are very well done. They have amazing practical effects for the time. And they're just fun, really, really good 90s kind of horror type movies, little thriller. I recommend that you kind of seek these out and watch these, and this is a damn good way to do it. So if you don't own these, if you've never seen these movies, this is the way to watch them. You can get them on Vinegar Syndrome. I think this was like $60-something, roughly around there. Worth every penny in my opinion. So let's get into the grading of these. On the video front, I'm going to give my first perfect score on the channel since we've been rating these things. This is a 5 out of 5 for me, hands down. This looks incredible. I could not ask for anything more out of this release. When I go into ranking and kind of giving a score for these releases, that's what's in my mind. Could this have been better? Was there something wrong with the negative, which they can't ultimately control, but that does take away from the film? Here, the grain is all intact. The HDR looks good. We're in the desert scenes. It's those deep oranges. The blacks are super deep. Everything looks like it came out yesterday. It's amazing, and that's what I'm looking for. With these old movies from the 80s and 90s and 70s, I want this movie to look like it was shot yesterday and it's being presented to me, and that's what it looks like, and that's where it's a standout release for me. So a 5 out of 5. On the audio front, it sounds really good, but it isn't anything like crazy or like rocking the house. It does sound very good. So on that front, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. So not bad. But again, we're getting powerhouse Atmos tracks, you know, left and right every day. So kind of holding it to a standard of just a granular audio file type person that I am. I really think it's not the best, but it's not bad at all. Good solid 4 for me. So rounding this all out, if I kind of put in conjunction of the packaging, the audio, the video, this for me is a solid like 4.5, and it is a hands down a recommendation from me. You should pick this up. I don't know why you're listening to me. You should be buying this right now. If you picked up anything from the Vinegar Syndrome Black Friday sale or in general, let me know down in the comments below. I'm curious to kind of start a conversation. What did you get? What are you looking forward to the rest of the year? Like for me, like I said, I got the Dead Zone coming. The Ring was pushed, so that's no longer in December. It would have already been out. But I think that's really it for me other than the Hellraiser thing, finally getting that figured out so I can get that. But that's all I've got, man. This is an incredible release, one of my favorites of the year. I'm going to have a really tough time picking my 5 favorite horror 4Ks for this year. I'm probably going to do that first, second week in January. So if you're looking for my best, worst horror movie of the year, that's going to come in late January. Like I said, I do work retail. So this week is going to be a hellscape for me. So probably be after that, I'm going to get some comp days and I will sit down and kind of get all my thoughts together of what was the best movie this year? What was the worst? Scream 6? Were you on that worst list? Probably. Who knows? I guess you'll have to watch and find out. Anyway, but I want to do a 4K one as well, my best and worst. That'll probably be put into one video just because I know the algorithm probably likes the worst, but I want you to listen to me talking about the best ones, not just the worst ones. So we're going to compile all of those. But that's all I've got. Thanks for stopping by. I'm going to link some videos for you at the end. As always, if you like what we do here, consider becoming part of the collective. If I don't see you again before the holidays, whatever you celebrate, happy holidays. Hope you enjoy them. Friends, family, hope you get some cool shit. But like I said, we are rounding our way to 1,000 subscribers, which I didn't think would happen because of the stuff that I cover on this channel, but we're getting there. I'm not exactly sure how many we are away because that'll probably change by the time you watch this. If you're watching this like 6 months from now, come on, join the collective. We got a lot of cool shit to talk about here. Into 2024, we've got a lot of cool stuff. Hopefully a Patreon and some weird stuff there. So I've got some ideas. Hopefully maybe a podcast or two. We got a lot of things brewing in the background, and I want to share all of that with you in the beginning of 2024. So join us. Become part of the collective here. Like I said, hope you'd enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you guys in my next 4K review.